Tom Petty. Oh, I'm not on mute. Hello. Hi. Tony, how are you?
Hi.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Are you home or here in the office?
We're at the office.
Oh, okay, good.
Just
So
down
hopefully we're going to get
doors down.
Zoom equipment in the training room that will allow, 10 or 12 people to be in the training room. And then we'll still do it by Zoom. So hopefully that will be within the next 2 weeks. So we'll be able to do, some group trainings and small groups in the training room, including the team meeting, which will be fun just from a, get everybody back in and camaraderie standpoint.
Okay.
There you go. Now I see you're in the office. Hi, Beth.
Hello.
Welcome. How are you?
I'm good. Hanging in there. How about you?
Good, 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 good. That's your home office. Very pretty.
Well, yeah, it's my home office. It's my home classroom. It's just about everything right now.
Yeah, we talked about that on the huddle this morning, that there was a news article out that said, parents are going to be considering keeping their kids in homeschooling because, yeah, so they did say they were going to open schools in August, yes?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that?
I'm not going back. My plan is not to go back, but I have mixed feelings for my friends that are going back because a lot of them take care of their elderly parents. They have, it just takes 1 or 2 people at the school to test positive to shut the school down.
Yeah.
So.
And it was your intention not to go back.
Right.
Even, okay. So
right.
that you guys that are just joining, so Beth is new to the office. She knows Karen Johnson. Karen actually was her realtor. And she was a teacher last school year right here at Mildred Helms at the school that we support here in the office.
Mm-hmm.
So, and now she's joined and going to do real estate with us. So super excited about that. She lives out on Bel Air Beach. And when we get back in the office, everybody would say, hey. So yeah, it is interesting, right? I think, yeah, I don't know. My son is a firefighter paramedic, and we talked last night and he said, that the kids have to go back to school or else the economy will never get moving.
Right.
And that is, but then there is also the concern, about the teachers and then sending the students all into one, group and area. And, they went to a water park the other day, and my son and daughter-in-law said to our 2, which are 11 and 14, don't touch the handrails. That the 2 other children from the other family who are 3 and 4, they're running down the thing holding the handrails. I mean, that's that's just, you're just, yeah. So it's, it depends, man. That's tough, to corral those kiddos in that fashion. But we will see. We will see. Hi, John. How are you?
Hi, good, Sandy. How are you? Hi, everybody.
I'm good. Good to see you. Mindy Baird, are you truly at the beach or is that a background? I'm guessing that's a background. So Denny Grimes is going to join us at about 12:15. So we'll go through a few things, but his conversation today with you guys is going to be about getting sellers off the fence in any market. And he's a master. And so I think it's going to be really good because are any of you getting the objections still from sellers who want to wait and sellers that, yeah. What's the conversation like, John? Is it just,
Well, it's like we're gonna just put the property out for now, for like 60 days. If it doesn't sell, we're gonna pull it off real quick, and we're in no hurry from a couple different clients of mine.
yeah.
And it's because of the COVID. They think it's kind of peaked out right now, and they're gonna see these two particular customers, see what they can sell it now.
So they are going
They're for sale by, I'm sorry, they're for sale by owners.
Oh, so they're going to see if what they can do on their own.
Yep.
Yeah. It's so interesting because I believe in my heart of hearts from a for sale by owner standpoint that people are less likely to be just looky-loos right now. Like nobody's just going in and out of strangers' homes if they aren't really serious and pre-qualified and want to buy a house. And so most of the buyers are going to be represented by an agent that are serious and have been pre-qualified because, and the people that aren't serious and pre-qualified, you don't want them walking through your house anyway, right? Like who's bringing your germs into my house if you're not pre-qualified? So any for sale by owner right now, I think should be easy pickings for those reasons, right? Because they want most of the qualified represented buyers are going to be represented. So you need agents in the MLS to get that message out. And then B, do you even care as a for sale by owner that you're opening your door to a stranger that's not been pre-qualified that's going to spit on your countertops? You know, I mean, it just doesn't make good sense to me. And I would be having those firm conversations, you know, I mean, there's no need to dance around that. That's the reality of it. So, yeah, stick with them, John, because that's, stick with them. Yeah. And my script for the for sale by owners is always around the fact that the offers that they receive from the get-go are going to be 10 to 15% lower than what a real estate agent will bring them because the buyers assume that a for sale by owner is a discount because it is not on the retail market. It is a garage sale. So I'm going to go to the jewelry store and I'm going to pay top dollar for jewelry. But if I find jewelry at the garage sale, I want the discount. And that's the way buyers perceive for sale by owners. So if I can start with an offer that's 10 to 15% above what you're going to get on your own, doesn't it make sense that I can net you more money even if you pay me a 3% commission, right? So just get in front of them. There's all of those many reasons that they should certainly not be for sale by owner-ing at this time of our lives. Okay, so we're going to jump in. Everybody got the team meeting slide up? Yes? Good, all right. Okay, so start with a couple of happy birthdays. So Michael Gallagher was yesterday, and Dan Mack, you're having a birthday this month?
Friday.
Friday, awesome sauce. Do you have anything planned for that? I know that you've been really trying to stay home.
Yeah, nothing really yet.
So, and I know I see you on, is that right to follow Dan? Because he cooks like a crazy man in the backyard. But my question is, would you order in something festive and special for your birthday? I mean, are you doing anything?
No, this year's been kind of a wet blanket on all my plans, so nothing really.
Yeah, we heard a couple of things about that too, with vacations and things being, canceled for many people. Are they either going to put that money into a fund for a down payment for a different, bigger, better, smaller, whatever their house need is, or are they renovating the house that they currently have and then they're an option for a refi? So, because we're all probably not canceling plans that we had in the past. Capper Award this week goes to Michael and Patricia Gallagher. They're doing really well. Patricia really is the one doing all the work. Michael is totally behind the scenes running another business, yet they are a husband and wife team. And they're over in Suite 205 with Chris Rogers' team and Travis's team over there. So if you're ever around, they're a bunch of fun and they do great amount of lead generation, and they welcome you to visit in there and sit with them to do lead gen or listen in. So that's the group that's over in 205. DTD2, we are on F and G. I can't believe they put those letters together, but they did. So F and G this week, and I will tell you that I am on a mission to get through my database, even though it's just referrals for my family's team. You know, I am in the same boat as you guys, right? That in 13 weeks, I need to make a difference in reaching out to those people and making sure that the database is all cleaned up. So I feel the pain and I know the struggle, yet it has to be in your calendar to work on the database specifically every single week around those 2 letters. So I hope everybody has that time blocked. Market Watch, this is still just as crazy as it always has been. Properties that were listed in the last week, 6/26 to 7/3, were 1,203. Properties under contract, 1,937, and properties that actually closed and sold same week, 1,896. So that's nearly, you know, close to 4,000 or 3,800 homes that either went under contract or sold, and only 1,200 new ones came on. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So it is a great time to sell, and you use these numbers to make sure that sellers understand that they can get more for their homes today because of supply and demand, and that they need to get out there and get listed.
You know, Sandy, this is Pam. I'm just going to add to that
Hi,
really
Pam.
quick. Hi there. Just a great demonstration that I just listed a property, I don't know, two days ago, 2 evenings ago, I guess. And yesterday was the first day after the listing went out there. We had 33 or 34 showings and 18 offers by this morning. Unbelievable. Yeah. Just unbelievable.
And so, and you know, John, that goes back to this for sale by owner. If they're not seeing that kind of activity, then there's a problem. And
yeah, for sure.
Right. And the ones that want to stay off the market because they don't want people dirty in their homes, I'm telling you, if you would give me the opportunity to list your property on a Thursday or Friday, go stay in a Holiday Inn for 2 days, and then I'll clean your house before you come back on Monday, and I'll have an over market value offer for you or at market value offer for you on Monday, you know, and we talk about this every day, but the general public, they really don't get it. And even the news media can say to them that there's limited inventory and the housing market is brisk or whatever that they want. The seller can't translate that into what does that mean for me. You guys got to lead with, that means, Mr. Seller, that you can get more money for your house today than you might be able to in any time in the future, you know, weeks or months, because we don't know what's going to happen, right? So just be sure you're having that telling that stories, because they're getting the story from somebody else and it needs to be us. So June awards, listing taken, Dan Tamarkin, listings taken volume. So he took listings of 744,000. Karina Mears, who is the girl that came in and brought the sewing machines and did all the sewing for the masks for the teachers at Mildred Helms, Beth, as a matter of fact, she is took a new listing for 549,000. So super glad to see her back in. Closed units, Garrett had a closing one a week. You know, that would be really nice, right? If you could just have 1, 2, 3, 4 every week, every month. And then the two-way tie between Laura Trundle and Tommy Camacho for number 2 in closed units. Cody Turner. So this is a crazy story. Cody Turner, this is his very first deal, and he closed a $2.3 million property for his first deal. Yeah, sweet. Laura Trundle closed 1.13 million. She's the agent that came recently over from Coldwell Banker. And if you talk to her, she will tell you that her life and business has changed since January 30th when she joined us in short order. Like she's just a poster child for what KW and new environments, some new systems, some new energy can do for an agent. So if you have other friends in the business that need a boost and new energy, be sure that you're getting them in front of me for an appointment so that we can get them in your downline, because we really do make a difference for agents, and she's a poster child for that. Listing taken units, three-way tie between Team DJ, Heidi Joy's team, and the Dream Team. That was 3 units each, so that's 9 between those 3 groups. Volume, Heidi Joy 900, Tampa Bay Commercial Group 850,000. So that, I believe, if Tampa Bay Commercial is on the Zoom today, was Sam Moy's first commercial listing, and he joined that commercial group not very long ago and is doing really well. So super excited about that. Closed units, Team DJ, Heidi Joy, and the Millar team, and then closed volume, Millar for 2.2 and Heidi Joy for $1 million. So super excited about that high volume too in our office. So thanks to all you guys for contributing. We are going to do some coming soons for you guys before Denny jumps on, and a few other things, because Denny, I think, is going to take us right from 12:15 to the 1 o'clock hour. So tell me, does anybody have any coming soons that they want to have a chat about? Taylor, are we launching the hot sheet yet?
It'll probably be launched tomorrow. We have one little, not really bug, but just like one little kink to it. So we're probably going to launch it tomorrow.
Awesome. So this is super exciting, you guys. Taylor was tasked with putting together a hot sheet so we could have all 3 market centers put out coming soon, so that if you have buyers, you can look at a hot sheet from all 3 market centers and see if there's anything that fits before they hit the market. And it was interesting because we were talking about doing a Google sheet or a shared document, and Taylor's like, oh, I can't give 1,100 people the ability to change a document. Can you imagine what that's going to look like? I was like, oh yeah, good thought. So she's created a form that you will fill out with the details about your coming soon, and it's going to populate the spreadsheet. So you guys can all see the spreadsheet, but you can't change the spreadsheet. And then you're going to give it the expected list date. And then she'll go in and delete everything at their around a couple days within their expected list date, so that it's always updated with just the stuff that's not yet in MLS. And I think that's going to be a really nice value to talk to your sellers and your buyers about, that you can market the product to the agents. We can't market it to the public. Remember, that was an MLS rule. So we're not marketing to the public, but you can market to the agents within the 3 offices. And the best place to sneak a listing before it hits the market would be through, to get your buyers a house before it hits the market. So
our pre-MLS private sheet.
Yes, pre-MLS private sheet, exactly, hot sheet. So we're super excited. So Taylor's put that all together and we're working on it. And so let's be sure that we are diligent about getting our properties on there, because the value is going to be in the people, is that enough people are actually populating it. So if you've got new listings coming, watch for that. It should be launched here in a day or 2. So does anybody have any coming soon properties that they want to bring to the audience before we move on to Denny? Okay. Couple of events upcoming Friday: setting and goal tracking, new construction on Monday. Tisa Dixon, who's out of the Palm Harbor office, is doing a brand class on Monday. And then mastering your month, the one thing with Dan. You guys, this is the 411 that we've been talking a lot about, and the one thing book, and really getting specific with working documents to change your business. So if you are not doing an ongoing 411, please put Tuesday at 2 p.m. In your calendar, because Dan is really, really awesome at that. All right, well, I think that's all I have. And so I'm going to introduce, Denny Grimes, I'm going to have you introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you, and then a little bit about your topic. And I'm going to quit screen sharing so you can share and take it away. I heard he just joined. Did he not?
Yes, sorry. I was
Oh,
on mute.
there he is.
Hey, Sandy.
Hi. So
Very, very excited to be with you guys again. You know, I went to USF. I'm a bull.
Hey, Denny, we can't hear you very well. So you either need to get closer to your microphone or speak louder. And does everybody on Zoom know that if you go up to the top right corner, it says speaker view or exit full screen. So run your mouse across the top. And if you hit speaker view, you're going to see my face because I'm speaking right now. But when Denny comes on, you'll see Denny in full screen. So change your thing to speaker view. And then Denny, if you can talk loudly, we'll let you go.
All right, is that better, Sandy?
It's still not great.
That is really weird. Give me 1 second. There might be a setting here that I can adjust.
Thank you.
I've never been accused of not being loud enough. All the way up, output built in, input built in. That should be.
Oh, that's
It
better.
should be all right. Is that better?
That's a little better.
All right, I will attempt to yell if I have to because I want you to hear the message.
All right, good.
I'm going to pretend like I'm at a Tampa Bay game watching Brady start for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Fair enough? So I'm anxious for that. So do you mind if I share a screen here real quick?
Do it.
Awesome. So here we go. Let me get it up there. Are you seeing the slides? Sandy, can you see the slides?
Yes. Yes, we
I'm
do.
muted. Sorry. Yes, we can.
Awesome. So here, a couple things I'm going to say. So here is the message I'm going to get across to you today, because I thought it was pretty amazing. Every month right now, Gary Keller is talking to the top 100, right? And we're having Zoom calls. There's a Zoom call 3 times a day somewhere. And he made an amazing statement. It says, get sellers off the fence. Now he's talking to people that have, you know, awesome businesses. And he says, here's the opportunity of the market. So you are the first market center I'm bringing it to, and I'm glad it's in Florida. And I love Tampa because I'm a bull, etc. So a couple of different things. Number one, because I am a huge believer. I've been in real estate 36 years, and I can tell you, not all of that I've been a big believer in script practice and role play. However, since being a bold coach for the last 4 years, I've seen the changes it's made. I've started to work on it, and it is a religion for us as a team. I meet with my team every morning, 4 days a week for a half hour to do some script practice and role play. I'm going to move quickly through this material so I can demonstrate for you some things you can practice and work on. And I only have this slide up that every Tuesday I have what's called celebrity role play. I have someone who's a top agent somewhere in the country come on, and they demonstrate their acumen in different types of lead generation and role plays. And it gets free. And basically you just go to my Facebook page, Denny Delivers Training, or you can email me at dennydeliverstraining.com or at Gmail, and I'll send you the link and you can participate. So that's that. So let me ask you a question. We're all in Florida. How's your market? Aren't a lot of people asking you that question right now? And it's interesting, the answers that come out. In fact, it's even more interesting as far as the headlines. How about this one last week? Existing home sales fall to the lowest level since 2010. Are you reading that in the news? Do you know how to interpret that? Are buyers kind of rubbing their hands and licking their chops looking for a buy one, get one free? That's one headline. Here's the other one that just came out like yesterday or today. Existing home sales fall 9.7% in May. Right now, the news is negative. Now, I know there may be some people on this call, maybe not because it's Sandy's Market Center, that are basically buying into it. What I want you to do is actually, we're going to change the way we look at things, and the things we look at change, right? Because there's one question to ask how the market's doing. There's another question to ask, how's your business doing? I have people on my team, like I've got this young guy, and he was in a restaurant business a year ago, and then he worked his way from a part-time to full-time agent. Just last month had 7 sales, his best month ever. Why? Because he's putting in the work. He's diligent about the work. My wife has expansion people across the country, and I hear surprisingly how many people are having their best month ever, and supposedly, in some people's minds, the worst market ever. So my question is, and it's more important, forget about your market. how's your business? Because there's agents out there that are basically saying, we. Here's the thing, that's awesome. That can be you. And there's a lot of agents that basically are focused on the uncertainty out there. And yes, there was uncertainty in March and April, and things started to get better in May. However, now with the numbers coming back up, travel restrictions, the unknowns, will there be school? I'm sure a lot of you are looking forward to homeschooling again. However, uncertainty's coming back. Now, what's interesting for this is I think this provides an awesome opportunity for buyers and specifically sellers. And we'll talk about that here in a little bit. On the other hand, instead of having your head out the window saying there's a lot of agents that I've seen basically close down their business. And I know it was kind of fun at first, like it's like vacation, like summer vacation, like the first few weeks or whatever, you don't have to work. The offices may be closed. Here's the thing. We're seeing that markets are having record Junes, and I think it's going to continue in July. And Gary says he does not think this is going to continue forever. It's not like here we are, it's going to be yippee skippy from now on. There's going to be a second wave or an effect of the virus, and it may not be virus related, it may be the economic ripple that's coming our way. So this could be an awesome opportunity for you to build your business and help your sellers, because we all know fear is a terrible advisor. And because of that, here's the thing. We talk about social distancing. Yes, we should do that from a virus standpoint. However, stop it for a business standpoint. We've had the opportunity now for 3+ months to make care and concern calls. I trust you've taken advantage of that. You can still do that. However, the time is right, particularly in Florida, unlike some of the other states out there in maybe the Northeast, then they've not opened up yet. Real estate's not essential. And here's a little idea for you. And this actually came from another agent who called me. He's from New York. He understands how people from New York like to come to Florida. And he said, Danny, I've got these people asking me about Florida, so I want to go and capture the market. He's doing exactly what Gary Keller suggested to do. He's going for what I call, and you'll see a slide here in a moment, the shadow seller. And he said, so would you do a quick little video? And you know what? If you want to do it for your area, I'll hook you up with that agent. And so I did this little video. It was about 3 minutes. And videos are kind of challenging for me. I know millennials can do them like that. I mean, I just get over analytical with the video. And so he's published it all through his market center to drive referral business to him and business to me. We started doing strategic placement Facebook ads. Guess where? New Jersey, New York, Michigan. Feeder markets for us anyway, right? There's people that want to come to Florida. Maybe they had it on their mind for years. They might have moved their plans up. We're getting phenomenal response by target marketing some of these states that come here anyway. So just an idea, food for thought. Anyway, this is whole message is called Get Sellers Back in the Market, because that's the first note I wrote down in Gary's mastermind in the last several weeks ago. 3 things I want to cover. Number 1, in order to get sellers off the fence, number 1, you have to get off the fence first. You must develop the proper mindset. And guess what? Yes, when you really kiss those little beautiful little angel children of yours or grandchildren, you say, Mommy, Daddy, Grandpa, Grandma's going to the office or going to work. Are you going to work? And I know your office may be closed. However, it's like that one commercial. I think it's a Buick commercial where the lady gets up, has coffee, the husband's eating cereal. She gets in her car, drives around, eventually comes back. She's working from home, only just loves her car that much. Whatever it takes for you to get in the mindset of working in your home in this environment, do it. So we're talking about shadow sellers, because buyers and sellers who are ready to maybe make a move to buy or sell before C-19 hit are still out there. And now that the window, basically, we're a little bit more open, not quite to phase 3, although let me just ask you, Sandy, how is the business there in Tampa? Are you seeing more business now than you have in the last 90 days?
So yeah, I think that the agents that are active are very busy. It's brisk, right? Stuff is happening fast. There's limited inventory, so you have to be quick with your buyers. You know, the agents that are engaged can, yes, be busy, but they have to be getting up and doing the work every day.
Well, that's exactly right. That's point 3. And I know that you're seeing some agents do better than others. Here's the first thing about, I'm going to say, as far as basically, we have to get off the fence first. Listen, you know that I'm a bold coach. I see Sandy. I don't know. You're just trying to impress me. You've got a bold shirt on. That's awesome. Listen, bro, Bold Pivot is coming back in August 4th. The first thing, in my opinion, you should do, every one of you should do it, and you had good participation in first Bold Pivot. I think you had almost 60 people in Bold Pivot, Sandy, from your market center, is that if you did sign up again. If you didn't sign up, you're missing something, because let me just share with you why. There were 40,000 people going on for the first Bold Pivot. Now they've learned and they're going to make some tweaks and they're going to make it even better. The rest of us coaches that weren't presenting were basically chatting with everyone. The two things that I've walked away with was this. Number one, the number one, I think, challenge with agents is their mindset. It's amazing. It's kind of like when you quit smoking after like 10 or 15 years and you quit. You can smell a cigarette 4 states away, right? And so when you coach bold and you're around and you're doing your best to keep yourself pure from mindset, you can see it all over the place. So I think mindset is the number one reason, basically, you should sign up for Bold Pivot, because mindset happens, the change in mindset happens before the change in business. So if you want more business, you're going to have a different mindset. And here are the results. Sandy, you've not even seen this yet. These are just been published from the last Bold we've had. I won't read them all. You can just see how a lot more people got engaged in command, opportunities. They created smart plans, which basically, that's a huge retention issue. And basically, you can't follow up systematically with a contact in order to capture that future business unless you have them in a database. So contract written, we're up 9%, listings 14%. So bottom line, it begins the 4th of August. It's going to be 2 hours, and on Tuesday, Thursday, ends the end of the month. So it's 2 days, a week, 2 hours. It's like a total of $99. All right, you can probably put it on maybe you can finance it with a 30-year amortization, only be pennies a day. So that's my plug for Bold, because I want to make sure you're off the fence, because you have to be off the fence first. The second, and you go to maxcoaching.com to sign up. The second reason, as I already mentioned, is the fact that Bold Pivot will give you a new mindset, and a new mindset will give you results. That's been proven. Been a Bold coach for almost 4 years, coming on 4 years now, yes. And I've seen tremendous change. And here's the thing, it's been said before, if you want to really internalize something and learn it, teach it. It's helped me tremendously in my mindset. Now, typically speaking, when there's uncertainty in the marketplace, it makes people stop. Sellers want to wait. Buyers want to wait. Agents want to wait. If you're listen to me right now, I know your leadership is encouraging you, giving you the tools you need, basically. However, the bottom line is C19 isn't an excuse anymore. It's been a disruption in the market. However, it's a great opportunity right now. I'm going to share some information with you how you can capitalize on it, and you can find some of those shadow sellers. Okay. So first of all, there's a Bold law. If you've taken Bold before, come from contribution. I want to share something with you. This story, I think I shared it with another class that I taught one other time, is the fact that agents, you guys probably, many of you have raised children, right? Maybe you are raising children, and you either had a kid that went into kindergarten, like the first day of kindergarten was very happy, or you had the clinger who was afraid to go in. So what would you tell that child that was hanging on your leg? You're going to say, it's okay. Mommy or dad will be right back. You'll have a good time. That's the attitude we should be taking with our clients. Now, I say that many people are on the fence, buyers and sellers, because of fear, and you can't get them on the fence if you're sitting on the fence. So that's why I want you to change your mindset about the opportunities out there. And it's almost like you found their wallet. And every one of you, if you found their wallet or purse or whatever, and the ID was in there, you have no problem calling them up or knocking on their door even, because you wouldn't be afraid of rejection, because you're coming from contribution. I'm going to give you the tools if you just internalize the mindset that now is maybe the best time sellers have had in a long time. In fact, Gary says on page 186 in Shift, he's talking about reluctance for buyers and sellers. When people have a good reason to buy, they do just that. However, when the market changes, it can throw them off balance. All of a sudden, they're not sure of themselves. And he says this, they need someone, just like the parent at the kindergarten door, they need someone to intervene and help them overcome their reluctance. They need someone to show them that it's okay and give them permission to sell now. Internalize that mindset, because these people may be forever grateful. Here's things you should be taking the notes down, or if you can make a screenshot. You guys are recording this, so you'll have access to this later on. I'm sure that you can see the recording. Here's the message of the moment for sellers. The ones that call you, or more, better yet, I want you to be proactive and call some sellers, particularly the ones that are on the fence that may have been thinking about it and delayed, that maybe were ready or already listed and withdrew their home because of COVID. Number one, there is an inventory shortage. Sandy said that at the introduction here. Yes, there's fewer homes on the market. Is that an advantage for the seller? Absolutely. There's upward pressure on price. There's more sellers that have left the market, so there's less competition. The buyers that are in the market are serious, because some buyers have stepped back as well. Now, we've seen a spike, and Gary talked about this on our call. You might have seen it. It really started probably in May, and it continued in June. We had a record June because, you know, I think there's some pent-up demand, because our typical season, much like yours, is probably March and April, before the snowbirds go back home. Well, we were kind of shut down then. So I think a lot of buyers are stepping back into the market. Gary says that's an opportunity that won't last forever. Once the market equalizes, that pent-up demand will level off. And of course, as you know, record low interest rates. So those are the messages of the moment. Those are the reasons sellers should consider selling now instead of later. So I'm going to give you a little tip. You know, I don't think I've ever shared this with your market center, Sandy, is that I know there's some reluctance to some people, and that probably not there where you guys are. I've just met agents across the country that have some reluctance of doing lead generation. You've probably got it mastered. I'm going to help you, because most agents have a few people in their phone or their database. They've delayed making a follow-up call so long that they don't even know how to make a follow-up call. I'm going to basically help you solve that issue and totally come from contribution. I call it the WD-40 touch. You see, your relationship we're like gears. When you just finish a transaction, there's no rust on those gears, because you're in flow with them, you're in communication with them, you got it going on, and you talk to them. It's awesome. However, after the weeks go by, the months go by, some of you guys, years, decades, the gears get rusty. So how, and they ask me all the time, how can I get back in touch with someone? And I feel kind of funny. I haven't talked to them since 1973. Hey, do you know anyone who wants to buy or sell, invest in real estate? It's a little awkward. Here's how you make it less awkward. And I've got people that do this, and I've got proof myself that this works, because I've been naughty and not followed up with all the people I should have. So here, the WD-40 touch is this. Every one of the people that you've done business with in the past, if you think about it, there's something about them you remember. And whatever that is, and even if you don't remember anything, right? The WD-40, and I want you to write these words down, is a touch, the word is out of the blue. Out of the blue. When you do something like out of the blue, they're unexpected, you know, it's amazing what happens. The WD-40 is nothing more than a simple text. Like, for example, I can see Tony. Tony, is that you right there? Am I looking at you, Tony? Oh, you're probably muted. So, all right. So, Tony, let's say I haven't talked to you in years. And if that's your picture there, and you have a guitar in the background, right? So, do you play guitar? Can you give me a thumbs up if you can talk? I don't know. Is that Tony? Yeah. Okay. Got it.
It's Michael.
All right, Michael. I'm sorry. All right. So there's his name. I didn't see it. Thanks, Michael. I remembered, you know, when I sold you a house back in 1995. That you were a big Eagles fan. I knew you played the guitar. I'm walking through the airport, and I see basically a book about the Eagles. And I'm not talking about the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm talking about the band, right? So here's the thing. I just take a snapshot of that Eagles magazine or book and say, hey, Michael, I walked through the airport. I saw this, and I remembered, you know, it was many years ago that you were an Eagle fan. I just was thinking of you. Hope you're doing well, and send the text. Don't ask for business, just out of the blue touch. When I teach this class, I have them do that like at 11 o'clock. And by the time, and I said, now raise your hand when you hear something back. And throughout the class, sometimes within 15 minutes, sometimes within an hour or so, people are basically raising their hand. Some are sharing their story. They're saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe what happened. I did this when I went to London, went to John Maxwell conference in November. There was a lady that I had done business with, several transactions. We fell apart, and you know, one of the listings didn't list. She listed with somebody else. So there's this awkwardness, right? How do you break the awkwardness? So here's the thing. I remember she was from London. So first time I've been in London, I said, look, I better practice what I preach. I landed in London, and I said, hey, Dorothy, Denny here. I know we haven't talked in a long time. I just finally made it to your country, your city. Made me think of you. I trust you're doing well. Within 10 minutes, now it's been 4 years since I've talked to her, and she might have even had a voodoo doll sticking needles in it. Maybe she didn't even like me anymore. Within 10 minutes, she's texting me. So for that entire time, we're texting about London. Have you been here? Blah, blah, blah. Now we're back in flow. Now is it easier to follow up with someone when you basically make that WD-40 touch? So that's going to be basically training wheels on your lead generation and going back and making those touches, that DDD2 that you learn in bold for people you haven't talked to in a while. It's amazing how it works. I challenge you to do one today. And so that's how you get started. Here's another idea we're doing to shake the tree and look for the shadow sellers. When we basically get a loyalty agreement signed by a buyer, we place a Facebook ad and we send this out. It is a legitimate buyer. We have a couple, and I'll put some of the specs. I won't put their name and phone number. I've learned that. That's looking for a 3-bedroom home. You know, they like a pool somewhere in basically the Gateway area in the 350 to 400 range. We are marketing our buyers and looking for sellers to respond or people to respond. Now, this isn't a new idea. This is what Tony DeCello did to build his business, was taught in bold. He would just have a little sheet and say, I've got buyers looking for property, right? Well, nowadays we have social media, and I don't know if you'll be welcome knocking on a lot of doors. However, this is one approach that we're moving forward with to find those people that are on the fence. And if we can get in a conversation with them, and we'll demonstrate this here in a little bit on the role play, many of those will see it is to their advantage to act now. So here's a script that basically you can copy down that it's good. And I'll just let you take a look at it there. I'll move the photo. And so you may call or see someone or just have a conversation. If you were planning on selling in the next year or so, there's people already out there thinking about it. And they're holding off because they think it's a bad time. So if you're thinking about the next year or so, would you have, I can't read that right now because I got the camera in front of it. What would have to happen for you to consider selling sooner? And so, or you can say, you know, would you consider selling sooner if it were in your advantage? It's just a question. It's a great opening question. And you know, the great thing is about the role play we're going to play, and I talked to this in your market center last time, is question-based listening enhanced scripts. And the cool thing about that is this: when you ask a good question, there are no bad questions. When you ask a good question, you learn something. When you ask a great question, you learn something and they learn something, and they stay engaged. So that's one of the questions you can ask them. Next. I have 2 reasons for my call today. First of all, I wanted just to see how you're doing. Secondly, I wanted to let you know there's this extreme shortage of inventory, and I wanted, that's covered up with the camera again, to ask if you knew anyone who was considering selling. In spite of this C19, this may be the best time to sell. Now, I'm just reading the script. Obviously, if you're going to ask them how they're doing, you're not going to go secondly. You'd let them talk about how you're doing. So I'm telling them up front, kind of like the open face sandwich we teach in bold. I've got 2 reasons for my call. How you doing? And by the way, there's a shortage of inventory. And would you consider selling? Would be a good opening question. Now, let me show you something how Gary talks to us in Shift about being the local economist of choice. Many years ago, I think maybe 7 or 8 years ago, I went to the TV station. And so I said, do you mind, you don't have anybody on real estate talking about real estate. And so they let me do it. And so I'm allowed to go in there. They let me come in there twice a month, do a spot. I don't have to pay for it. Now, you may not have that opportunity or that desire. However, this is exactly what Gary's talking about becoming the economist of choice. And I'm giving the message out there, and I'm interpreting the headlines. When I started this little presentation, there were negative headlines. Now I'm putting the proper perspective. I don't want to say spin because it's almost negative. It's only a couple minutes, so just watch this. I trust the volume is good on this. If it's not, Sandy, let me know.
Existing U.S. home sales fall to the lowest level since 2010, according to the National Association of Realtors. Yet this may be the best time to sell your home here in Southwest Florida. Confused? Well, here to give us the facts is Denny Grimes with Denny Grimes and team at Keller Williams Realty. Good morning, Denny. Thanks for joining us. So first off, Denny, home sales at a record low. So why is this good news for sellers locally?
Well, that's the great question. However, we've been waiting on this report. We talked about it 2 weeks ago. This report is actually looking in the rearview mirror of May's closings. Now, we knew that was going to be slow because April's pendings were slow. In fact, Southwest Florida didn't escape that either because our sales or closed sales in May were down 40%. However, June sales are through the roof. So that's great news for sellers because buyers have stepped back in as they felt a little bit more bullish on the market and a little bit more safe. Sellers are making a mistake because many sellers have taken their homes off the market or delayed putting them on the market, which has created an inventory shortage. So sellers may be doing themselves a disservice by not having their property on the market when it could be the very best time for them to be selling.
So you talk about putting it on the market. What else should they be doing to take advantage of this June surge in sales?
Well, number one, if they had plans of selling probably in the next year or so, now is the best time to put it on the market. Secondly, if sellers are on the market and they haven't sold yet, then you should probably get a little bit more competitive on price because buyers are out there. And I did a little research, Lindsay, today, and basically there are about 30% of the sellers that have been on the market at least a year or more. And you know what? If the market is saying no at their current price, they're not going to say yes later. So sellers should take advantage of this action now. Agents should be talking to their sellers and giving them the advice on this. My last point to sellers is this, is that if you have a contract, keep it together because as you guys have been reporting the last couple of days, COVID numbers are going up. I think they're going to slow down the release of phase 3 into Florida. There's travel restrictions. So some of the air may be let out of our market because COVID numbers are going up. Now might be the perfect opportunity to take advantage of the market if you're a seller.
Okay, so the main message I'm getting from you is act now while we can.
Right, because I think the window may be closing.
All right, Denny, thanks so much for joining us.
So you guys, the issue there is this. We sent this out to some of our sellers that were basically a little bit stubborn on reducing the price. Just sent out the video, not a lot on there. Hey, Denny, this is my spot on TV. Two of our sellers called us back that had been very stubborn and basically adjusted their price downward. Now that video would work in your market. I'd send it to you. I'm not, hasn't nothing to do with me. Hey, I'm in Florida. Just here's what another expert has to say, or take the same information and disseminate it any way you want.
So yeah, so if I can jump in there, Denny, I think if you'll send that, that would be amazing because yeah, you guys could send it just like it is, or you can study it, listen to it, and then I will interview you on Zoom. So there'll be me on one screen, you on another, and I'll ask you questions and you be the expert and put that out on your social media or send it to your customers yourselves. And we can stage that as you're being interviewed. It doesn't necessarily have to be for television. It just needs to be editorial-ish, which is what makes that so powerful. So if you would send it, Denny, that would be great because if you don't want to, if you don't use his piece, then let's do it for you guys and I'll help you with that.
I think that's even a better idea, Sandy. Thanks for that. I'll make sure other people know that. So why don't we do a question-based role play, okay? And as we close up, then I think we have a few minutes yet, right, Sandy? We have till 1 o'clock.
You do. You got 15 minutes, and the role play is probably one of the best, pieces, so you guys can actually see how this goes in real time. So
awesome. So here's the thing: question-based, listening enhanced conversational scripts. What's very interesting about me doing role play practice with my team, I'm kind of the referee and I listen to them and I give pointers. It's interesting that when you step back and you listen, you have a different perspective than participating. One of the greatest skills that I've been able to work on and improve in the last year is my listening skills. When I'm in a role play scenario, when I'm with a client, which I'm not with them very often, however, I used to think I'm so smart, I remember everything, I don't write it down. I write stuff down now because write this down. Buyers and sellers will give you the combination of their lock to unlock them to move forward if you'll just listen to the words they use. So it's a skill. You don't learn it. You don't learn judo in one lesson. So here's the formula that I follow. Acknowledge, isolate, which is unload then unpack, address and close. And notice the asterisks. Everything is question-based. Too many people want to basically spew knowledge all over them. And if you give them enough knowledge, you'll get them in to do what you want them to do. It's not the way it really works. For example, here's the examples of acknowledgement. I understand. I see. Okay. I can see why you're saying that. I've heard that from others. Perfect. Awesome. Groovy. Knuckle bump. And you're from Canada. A. That works for anything. So those are different ways. What you want to do is put them at ease. And what I like about some of the best role players out there, and I've seen a lot of them, even, Ferry's got some great scripts. He's got, he doesn't argue with the customer. Just acknowledge. So that's pretty simple. Now, here's where people get kind of tripped up, Sandy, is the unload then unpack. So quickly, if you have a carload of suitcases, you come back from vacation, you probably unload them all, then you start unpacking. Start remembering to do that with your clients. In fact, what you want to do is get to the center of the Tootsie Roll Pop, because if you don't, you'll be playing whack-a-mole. And I'll demonstrate that here in just a second. Last point, when you're talking to a customer, you're on the clock. They only have an attention span so long. So you had better get to the meat, and too many agents spend too long discussing the bowling trophies they have somewhere in their house instead of talking about their motivation and things that are really important. They're only going to tolerate you so long. So learn how to ask great questions. So we can use any objection you want, and I will follow this model. Does anyone have an objection from a seller that we'd like to role play?
I'll go. So I got this lady that wanted to, that took her house off because she was afraid of COVID. And she says, I'm just gonna wait till things get better before I allow all these people back in my house. And I've called her a couple times, but she's just pretty difficult, and she doesn't wanna put it out there right now.
I got it. And so here, can you, Michael, can you be her?
No.
You do that. All right, you don't have to be her. You can just have that objection. Fair enough?
Okay.
Awesome. So what am I going to say? So we're having a chat. Let's say so we're on the phone. So I understand how you feel, Michael. Let me ask you a question. There's my acknowledgement, right?
Call me Michelle.
Okay. Hi, Michelle. I understand how you feel, Michelle. However, let me ask, other than that, write those 3 words down. Like Jesus wept is the shortest verse in the Bible. It's easy to memorize. Other than that, is the shortest script in the world. Other than that, is there any other reason you wouldn't list your home with me today?
No, no other reason. The only thing that bothers me is I'm afraid of people walking in my home and taking the risk of getting sick.
Okay, so now notice I'm making a note here, walking through home, risk of sick. So are you saying then basically, now I'm going to move forward here just a little bit. I'm going to give you a couple more slides so you can copy. So you'll have a copy of this. Well, let me ask you, this is generally what you should be asking every buyer and seller when you first meet with them. It's called the meat thermometer script, and this is it. Well, Michelle, based on your opinion of the market, and there's no right or wrong answer, do you feel the market's working in your favor or working against you?
Actually, it's working in my favor.
How do you mean that?
Well, some of my girlfriends told me that the houses are selling and they're getting pretty good amounts of money for it. But some of my girlfriends also are afraid of getting sick, and that's why they decided to move out of their house and get their house sold.
So now you know where they are, you guys. The reason you ask that question is it doesn't matter which way they answered. As long as they're truthful, you know where they are. It's no different than someone calling you saying, hey, your kids, hey, I'm lost. Well, where are you? You've got to find out where they are. And so now I know that she thinks that the market's going up, okay? So here's the other things. Here's another script. I want to make sure I get to these, Sandy, before I'm out of time on the role play. This is a great thing. There's a lot of unknowns in the marketplace. And so this is a script that I might use with you here in a minute when I finish the role play. There may be a lot of uncertainty in the market right now, Michelle. However, there's 2 things I know for sure. The first, that there will be winners and losers in this market. I'm assuming you want to be one of the winners, correct?
Oh, absolutely. I can't wait to go spend more time with my husband up north.
Awesome. And the second I know for sure is this. You can't win in this market unless you're in that market. So doesn't it make sense to at least consider moving forward now?
So what kind of safety features are there in place to protect my myself?
So if we did have basically the safety features in place, would that make you feel better about moving forward?
Absolutely. At my age, I have to be careful.
Okay. So what would those safety features look like for you?
I don't know. I'm not a nurse. I don't know these things, but I'm just afraid of anybody bringing a disease in my house or a virus to get my grandkids sick.
I got that. However, if that can be mitigated, we can move forward.
Yes.
So I'm going to stop a minute and I'm going to put Michelle aside and talk to you, Michael, just for a second. Have you had a conversation similar to this to that seller?
I'm sorry, have I had it with the seller?
Have you had a conversation? Notice I have not made any statements at all. Everything's been a question, and I've got a couple more questions asked. Have you used a conversation like this with your seller?
Yes, I have.
Okay, and she's still pushing back?
Yeah, she's still undecided because of that. So I told her that we would take every precaution possible. We wear gloves, mask, we bring sanitizer for the buyers. We schedule everybody apart. Everybody stays 6 feet apart, no overlapping. So we would be extremely cautious to protect your interest. We won't touch anything, again, to prevent anybody from getting, transferring anything.
So here's the thing. And she's still pushing back?
I didn't hear you.
She's still pushing back?
Yeah, she's still undecided. I think I have her almost there. It's just taking a little massaging.
Here's the question you want to ask her. Michelle, if we could sell your house and no one came in, would you list with me today?
Yes.
Then do that. Do it. And she's going to say, well, what do you mean? You realize in this marketplace, maybe the only time in the history that I can remember, there's so many buyers and so little inventory. Guess what? Whatever song you want to play, they may dance to within reason. So let me just give you a little bit more ammunition, Michelle. If a doctor gave you a prescription you'd never had before, would you want the doctor to take a few moments to explain the potential side effects?
Absolutely.
So here are the side effects for the seller. There's the script, you guys. Number one, go to their motivation. I'm not going to spend time here. However, do you understand their motivation from a emotional standpoint? Listen, there's a lot of people that would like to get from where they are to where they want to be. A lot. The thing that scares them is the process. We need to take that concern away from them. And we do that because right now they're balled up with emotion. We need to give them a measure of logic, which I'm going to give you here in a second, and use their emotion as leverage. So you know how to do that. However, motivation is always paramount. Number two is timing. So let me ask you this, Michelle. You're going to take your home off the market because you feel unsafe. Do you think there's other sellers that may want to do that too?
I'm sure. A lot of my girlfriends told me, besides the ones that sold, that they want to take their houses off the market. They don't want to list.
So if you were to keep your home on the market and these other sellers were to take their home off the market, would that be in your favor? Yes or no?
Most likely, yes. Yeah, I'd have more opportunity to show my house because there's less houses that are on the market. So you're walking them right into it. I
am giving little cookie Oreo pieces, and I'm leading them to self-discover something. Have I made a statement yet?
Yeah. Yeah, you haven't said anything yet, but you're educating them and walking them right into the path.
Absolutely. And I'm not done. You'll cry uncle before 1 o'clock, okay? You'll cry uncle before 1 o'clock. So, all right, so understand that. Now, here's the other thing. If you think there's some sellers out there that are concerned taking themselves off the market, do you think there's some buyers out there that are concerned about getting the virus and they're basically waiting in the market as well? Do you think that's happening?
Absolutely.
Well, therefore, the buyers that are in the market right now, Michelle, do you think they're serious or a bunch of people want to walk through houses just for kicks and giggles?
In this market, they're most definitely serious.
So right now, if you were to list with me, you're going to be in a market with fewer sellers, less competition, and the only buyers that are in the market are serious and motivated. Does that not sound like a win-win?
The way you make it sound, Denny, yes.
I'm
Yes,
Denise.
you're a nice young man.
I'm Denise, okay? I'm just Denise.
Stop flirting with me. Good job.
So when you look at the advantages for sellers, they're right here. Possible better pricing. Right now, basically, because there's less inventory, more buyers are looking. What if we set up a standard that, you know what, we control showings, maybe no showings. In fact, they have to write an acceptable offer you agree to, and the only contingency other than inspection is they get to come in and spend the time and look at it. Would you move forward with that, Michelle?
That makes sense. Yes.
Now, we will all have questions because it's almost time. Church is almost done, and I always didn't like my pastor going over, so I attempt to be on time here. Here's the thing. I have no idea what happened, Michael, in your conversation with her. If she pushes back with that, you've not gotten to the center of the Tootsie Roll Pop. There's something else.
Yeah, I will give her a call right after this call, and I will get to her Tootsie Roll.
So, Sandy, it's, let's see here. Oh, the last part of the script is this. I forgot this. If they're still resisting, so let me ask you a question then. When you start feeling more comfortable because there's less virus and, you know, safety, and you want to put your house, you want to list then, right? Do you think other sellers are going to feel more comfortable as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And not only that, but I think she'll tell her friends, and it'll help the whole circle.
Well, it's actually working against you because now you're going to be putting your home on the market when there's more sellers, which is going to put you at a disadvantage, right? That's why I said at the beginning of this short call is now may be the best time in ever for sellers to take advantage of this market. So I'll have your ahas. You can ask me some questions. We've got a minute or so. I wanted to let you guys know if you sign up for Bold and you email me at DennyDeliversTraining@gmail.com, I'll put you in a drawing. And if you want to just role play with my team for a week or a couple of days to see how we do it, it's awesome. It's only 30 minutes. You don't have to participate. You can be a fly on the wall. If you sign up for Bold Pivot, it's coming up in August, go to Denny Delivers Training, say you signed up, and then, you know, I might, if there's enough, Sandy, I might just do one for your whole office if they want to take 30 minutes to do a role play or practice it. I'm happy to do that because this is my passion. So any comments, any ahas, any questions, anything you want to add to what I had to say here today?
Yeah, a couple of things. Donna Hastings asked, can you repeat the script about if I can sell your house without anyone coming in?
Sure, that's it. So Sandy, you're nice and loud. So if you could sell your house, so let me ask you a question. Sandy, you're concerned about people coming in your house, right?
I am.
Is there, other than that, Jesus wept. Other than that, is there any other reason we couldn't move forward today?
No, that's really the only problem I've got.
All right, so what if we could sell it? So would you list with me if we set up the agreement that no one comes in to see it that hasn't already bought it?
Well, do you think you can get it sold under those conditions?
Well, what do you think? Is it worth a shot?
I suppose, but I don't know. Do people buy homes sight unseen?
Yes. It's happened quite a few times. And I'm sure it's happened in your office. People are buying Zoom. Now, here's the thing. I mean, will they eventually want to see it? So here's the thing. If you want to cut down the risk, then we'll cut down the showings. And already the showings are cut down because I just went through the issue that only serious buyers are out there. So, and if you don't want to go to that, maybe you say, what if we only had 2 people through your home? Only 2 potential, and one of those 2 bought your home. Would that make you feel safer?
Right. Yeah. And we did talk about this too, Denny, off script, just that, you know, if you price it right, or even a little bit under the market, you can do a 3-hour open house, get the sellers out, clean it after it's done. You'll get offers in our market. You know, you will. So you can limit that to, if you'll give me 3 hours on Saturday, I'll bring you a market priced offer, you know? So we're in that kind of a situation where you can make that happen, Michael. So that shouldn't necessarily be an objection. And can I talk just 1 minute quickly about Bold? You guys, you know, this is like my 12th time taking it, and it's online and it's different, yet it still focuses you to spend the time working on your business and not in your business several hours a week, which is the focus that we need to move our businesses forward. And each time that you take it, you will get something different. There's so much information in Bold that you can never get it all, the scripts and the dialogues and all of that stuff. And so, you know, the $99 price tag to do it is amazing. And then if you can get any one-on-one coaching, or even sit in and listen to the script and role play practices on Denny's team, you know, that's just crazy valuable. If you could spend, do you think you'd be better if you could spend a half an hour, you know, learning these scripts and listening and doing this dialogue? And it's fun, right, Michael? I mean, when there's nobody trying to beat you up. Script and role play practice is not to intimidate you or make you feel like you don't know what you're doing. It's practice. So I think that that's a great offer, and we appreciate that. And if you need to sign up, then talk to Cindy. If you need to sign up and have us take the money out of an upcoming closing, talk to Cindy, and there you go.
I think I forgot to tell them it's only $99. Did I say that?
Yeah.
All right. So awesome.
All right. Anybody else have any questions for Denny?
I'm not in a hurry, so I'm doing what I love to do. I don't want to take your time. If you have another question, put it in there, or you can email me.
All right. I think it was a great session today. Thanks very much for joining us, and we'll have you back again, and we'll see you in the Bold Room.
You bet. Go Bucks.
Thanks, Danny.
Yeah. Thanks, Michelle.
Michael.